Okay, good morning. I think you'll find this lesson to be pretty simple because it's going to be a lot like 11.4. In 11.4, we were finding arc length, and we had a proportion that said our arc length is to our circumference as our angle measure is to 360. So this is going to be super similar to that, but now we're going to work with something called sectors. So obviously we've been finding the area of a circle for a really long time. That's the first part of your objective here. But this new part is going to be, okay, how do we find the area of just a little sector of a circle? And that's what we're going to be working on today. So your first theorem is the area of a circle is pi r squared. I think most of us have probably known that for a while. So just a really simple problem to start out with. It's a circle. Formula is area equals pi r squared. You're going to plug in your radius of 2.5. You're going to square that. And then remember, sometimes you can leave answers in terms of pi. I don't necessarily love that when there's a decimal in front of it. So like, for example, I don't know that I would leave this 6.25 pi. I'd probably go ahead and multiply that out. And so we get about 19.6 centimeters squared. And that's your area of this circle. Okay, example 2 says find the diameter of a circle if the area is 113 square centimeters. So area of a circle is equal to pi r squared. And this one, they want us to find the diameter. Obviously note that diameter isn't part of this formula, but we know that every diameter is 2 times the radius. So if we can find the radius here, we can just plug it in and find our diameter. So I know my area is 113.1 equals pi times r squared. So I'm going to take 113.1 and I'm going to divide it by pi, and that's going to give me 36.0008. So we're just going to round this to about 36, and then r squared, so you have to undo that with the square root, and so we're going to get our radius to be about 6, which means our diameter is about 12 centimeters. All right, and then we're going to get into this area of a sector formula here. So it says the ratio of an area of a sector, of a circle to the area of the whole circle is equal to the ratio of the measure of the intercepted arc to 360. So like I said, this is going to be super similar to section 11.4. Okay, so this actually would be our sector that we're talking about right here. So these are going to be shaded in, and maybe that was supposed to be, so make sure you go ahead and do that. Okay, so the area of the sector over the area of the circle, which is pi r squared, is going to be equal to the measure of the arc over 360. So this right side of this proportion is exactly the same as the last lesson. The only thing that changes is instead of arc length is to circumference, this is area of the sector is to area of the whole circle. Okay, so let's look at, a couple problems here. All right, so find the area of the sectors, plural, formed by HJK. So I'm going to focus on the smaller sector to begin with. So they say sectors plural, so they want me to find this one. And then, see if I can find another color here. They also want me to find the area of this sector, which I'll do second. Okay, and there's a couple ways that you could do that. So I'm going to set up my proportion. My area of my sector is to pi r squared, so pi times 12 squared. As my arc measure, so the measure of this arc is equal to the measure of that angle, so is 100 is to 360. Okay, all of this is cross multiplication, just like the last lesson. So 360x is 144 pi times 100. You're going to divide all of that by 360. Just be careful when you're entering all this into a calculator. So 144 times pi times 100 is, and then divide that by 360. Now, my calculator just gave this to me in the terms of pi, so 40 pi units squared. Obviously, you could also do 40 times pi, and I don't know why it's wanting to let me do that. So 40 times pi is about 125.7 units squared. Okay, for the yellow sector, you have two options. You can just set up another proportion, which I've kind of found that a lot of people just prefer to do that. So if the green portion was 100 of the degrees out of 360, how many degrees would the yellow portion be? You just take 360 minus 100 and you get 260 here, and you just do this all the same way. Okay, your other option would be to find the area of the whole circle and just subtract off the 125.7. So it's really kind of up to you. I'm just going to show you the cross multiplication way since that's what's new. Might as well work on it. Okay, so if we do 144 times 260 divided by 360, let's see if this does come out nice as well. So this is either 104 pi units squared or about 326.7 units squared. Those are my two areas of my sectors. Okay, and then last one for today, it says use the diagram to find the area of the circle. Right here it tells you the area of this sector is 35 meters squared, so we know we're going to need our proportion. This one's a little different. It wants us to find the area of the circle. So that's this spot that I'm going to put my X in. I know the area of my sector is 35. I know this arc measure is 40, and that's always a 360. A lot of times I write that in right away. Cross multiplication to solve here. Whoops. And so the area of this whole circle is going to be 315 meters squared. All right, that's it for today.